Good morning students. Welcome to this online teaching classes of Academic World School, Bevetara. Today we are going to start the topic that is transportation in plants. In our previous class we studied about the transportation in animals. As we know that plant is also a living organism and transportation takes place in plants as well. Here water is the medium that will carry the various materials like minerals and different solutes to different parts of the body. And then the food that is prepared in the leaves is again carried by phloem to different parts of the plant. So here the food is transported, the water and minerals are transported. So there are various conducting channels that are responsible for this transportation in plants. To begin with, we'll understand that transportation is of two types. One is short distance transportation, like carbon dioxide and oxygen gases simply diffuse in and out. So it's a short distance transportation. Whereas the second one is the long distance transportation. Here conducting channels are responsible for the transportation of materials. Like there are two components, that is xylem and phloem, which is found in the vascular bundle, which is responsible for transportation of materials. The xylem transports water and minerals from the roots to different parts of the plant, whereas the phloem translocates the food prepared in the leaves to different parts of the plant. First we will understand what are the components of the xylem and phloem, which is under the vascular bundle. Let's see the vascular bundle. This vascular bundle, it consists of two major components, that is xylem and phloem. This xylem is responsible for transportation of water and minerals. It transports water and minerals from soil to different parts of the plant. It conducts the water from the soil upward to different parts of the plant. This xylem has four components. These four components we have also read in class 9, but we will take a just short recap so that we don't face problem when we understand transportation in plants. The xylem has four components. The first one is tracheids, vessels, xylem fibers, and the fourth one is xylem parenchyma. These all have specific functions to conduct. These tracheids and vessels are the main conducting channels. They are just like a kind of pipe through which the water flows. So tracheids and vessels are here the main conducting channel or the conducting tube. These two are non-living, these two are dead, and these are the two main conducting channels. Tracheids is the main one where vessels assist it. Xylem fibers, it provides mechanical strength. Whereas xylem parenchyma, it stores food. Now out of these four components, the first three are dead. Tracheids and vessels are dead tissues. Xylem fiber is also dead. The only living component is xylem parenchyma. So out of four components of xylem, the first three are dead and the xylem parenchyma is the only living tissue. These are a kind of tube kind through which the water and minerals will travel. Next we will see phloem. Phloem, it translocates food. In previous video lectures we have studied, when we were studying about nutrition, that plants prepare their food in the leaves by the process of photosynthesis. So the food is prepared in the leaves, which has to be transported or translocated to other parts of the plant, and this phloem is responsible to translocate the food from the leaves to all parts of the plant. So here we understand that in xylem only water conducts from the soil towards upward direction, whereas in phloem the food prepared in the leaves is translocated to in all directions. So this phloem, what it does, it translocates food. Where it is prepared? From leaves to other parts of plant. Again here, phloem consists of again 4 components. What are they? First one is seed tubes. See here, from the tube itself we understand that this is the main conducting channel. Second was the companion cell. Third one is phloem fibers, and the last one is phloem parenchyma. Here again we find 4 components. Sieve tubes are the main conducting channels. Companion cells are the sister cells which help in conduction. Phloem fibers, they provide mechanical support or mechanical strength. And the last one, phloem parenchyma, stores food. So here out of this 4, sieve tube is living tissue. Companion cell is also a living tissue. Phloem parenchyma is also a living tissue. Here out of 4 components, 3 components are living, whereas the phloem fibers are the dead tissues. So we have 4 components here. Sieve tube is the main conducting channel which translocates food. Companion cell assists it, these are the sister cells. The third one, phloem fibers, they provide mechanical support and strength. And the last one, that is phloem parenchyma, it stores food. So these are the 2 main components of vascular bundle that helps in transportation, maybe water and mineral or food. How can we remember? See here we pronounce it as xylem. So you can understand that z, jal, and phloem for food. So in this way if you remember, you won't forget the function easily. So xylem conducts or transports water and mineral, phloem translocates food. So these are the 2 components of vascular bundle that will help the water to move from the soil to different parts of the plant. So we have understood about this one, the first one, the components of transportation in highly organized plants. Second one, we'll understand what is transpiration. First we understand the basic terms so that we don't face difficulty in understanding the transportation in plants. Note it down whatever I write here or whatever notes I give here, so that it will be easier for you to study it afterwards, right? So what we understand is, just see here, this is a diagram of a tree. The roots are under the ground. Here water is present, capillary water. Capillary water means the water particles that are present in between the soil particles. The plant can access or avail the capillary water present in the soil. The roots here, the root is having branches, it has branches and it has rebranched itself. Here water particles are there. The water moves from the root and it travels through the stem to different parts of the plant. Now what happens? We understand that there is a process going on that is called transpiration. What is transpiration? It is the loss of water in the form of water vapor from the aerial parts of the plant. So here what will happen? The water is lost. At almost 90% of the water is lost of what it is absorbed. So of 90% of the absorbed water is lost in the form of transpiration. So whatever is lost, this has to be filled in. This water is lost in the form of transpiration. Transpiration are of 2 types. One is stomatal transpiration and the other one is cuticular transpiration. Cuticle is the outermost layer. When we were studying about the structure of leaf, here you can see this is the structure of leaf. The upper layer is called the cuticle. Water is lost from the cuticle, we call it cuticular transpiration. Water is also lost through the stomata. These are the tiny pores which are present in the lower epidermis or in the lower side of the leaf. When the water is lost from the stomata, we call it stomatal transpiration, and if it is lost from the cuticle, we call it as cuticular transpiration. Transpiration is a process in which water is lost in the form of water vapor from the aerial parts of the plant. Now, what is the importance of transpiration? What happens due to this transpiration? First of all, it gives a cooling effect. Evaporation of water will give a cooling effect. And second, it creates a transpiration pull. A suction pull is created due to which the water is traveling such a long height of the trees. You might have seen trees of 5 meters, 10 meters. Have you ever thought why the water moves from the soil to such a great height? There might be something, there might be some theory working. Otherwise, in our home, if we live in a second floor, without a water pump, water cannot be transported to the tank which is at the top of your terrace. So how in plants which is 5 meter or more than it, how the water moves from the soil to such a great height? There is a question which the answer will get at the end of this lecture. To understand the transportation in plants, it has 3 steps. We will see what are the 3 steps. First is mineral absorption. Second one is absorption of water. And third one is ascent of sap. We will go stepwise. To begin with, we understand what is mineral absorption. We know that plants require minerals for various metabolic processes. From where do the plant get these minerals? These minerals are present in the soil. So what will happen? These minerals along with the water will enter into the root hairs in the root. Now, why these minerals are going to enter? To understand it, first you have to recap the process of osmosis which we have read in class 9th. Osmosis is a process in which water travels from its higher concentration to its lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. Now see here, the water which is present in the soil particles, here the osmotic concentration of water is higher in the soil as compared to the cells inside the root. So water will travel due to osmosis, we understand it, but why the minerals are going to travel? Minerals will enter with the water only with the expenditure of energy, because mineral concentration in the soil is higher than the mineral concentration in the cell of the root hair. So mineral cannot travel from higher concentration to lower concentration without expenditure of energy. Here the plant will expend energy. At the cost of energy, the minerals will travel from the soil inside the root hair. It is an active process. This mineral absorption is an active process. Why it is an active process? I will repeat once again. The mineral concentration in the soil is more as compared to the mineral concentration of the cell inside the root hair. The mineral is not going to move of its own from the soil particle into the cell until and unless energy is spent. Here with the cost of this expenditure of energy, which we call it as active process, the minerals are going to travel from the soil into the cells of the root hair. So that is mineral absorption, because we know that along with the water, minerals also travel inside, or mineral also get transported inside the plant. The second one is absorption of water. Here comes the role of osmosis. Here the water particles are present in the soil. Here the concentration of water is more. Concentration of water is more as compared to the concentration of water inside the cells. So what will happen? Here osmosis is going to take place. Water will move from its higher concentration to its lower concentration, because the cells are the living cells. With the help of semi-permeable membrane, it is going to travel inside. So osmosis is responsible for the water to move inside the root hair. Now what will happen? Here transpiration is continuously taking place. Water is lost. Now when the water is lost from the cells, water, the cells from the adjacent cells are going to supply the water. Suppose this is the structure of a leaf. First, what is this structure? This is the structure of leaf. This is the xylem vessels of the stem, and this is the internal structure of a root. So that we have taken the internal structure of a tree. We have taken the internal structure of a root. Then roots are connected with the xylem vessels in the stem, and this stem is leading it to the leaf. This is the midrib. This is the structure of leaf which we have already read in the first video, right? This is the structure of leaf. This is the upper epidermis. This is the palisade parenchyma. These long elongated cells. This is the midrib. This is the spongy parenchyma. Here you will get carbon dioxide and oxygen. Here air spaces are there, and here exchange of gases takes place through stomata. This is the lower epidermis. Now we have to understand that when transpiration takes place, water is lost. Now when water is lost, a deficiency is created in the cells. To fill that deficiency, water from adjacent cells will come to fill up the space. In this way, if here the deficiency is there, water from this cell will come to here, and this and so on, and this will create a transpiration pull, a suction pull will be created, as a result of which this water will move from the root here to the leaf. This will happen when the plant is very tall. Now if the plant is very short, herb kind, short heighted, say grass, transpiration pull is not required. What will happen? The water will move here, the roots are going to absorb the water. Now what will happen? A positive root pressure will be created in the cells. Grass is having a very small height. It does not need a transpiration pull or a suction pull. This is required only in tall plants. But in very short plants like grasses and all, the root pressure, the positive root pressure is enough to supply water to the different parts of the plant. What will happen? The water will enter inside due to osmosis, and the water will travel. For short heighted plant, it's okay. You will also, you might be knowing about another process called guttation. What will happen in this? This positive root pressure will enable the small water droplets to ooze out from the aerial parts of the plant. You might find it in the morning time, in the early morning time, when the transpiration is very less. Suppose the transpiration is not taking place or it is very less, the positive root pressure will increase and water will ooze out from the small openings called hydrothods. This process is called guttation. Right? You can also experiment it. You just get up early in the morning, maybe 3 o'clock in the morning, take a plant and just cut a section of it. You will find water coming out, because at that time transpiration is not taking place, or if it is taking, it is very less. The root pressure will be very high and the water will ooze out from the aerial parts of the plant. So for short heighted plant, absorption of water and this positive root pressure is enough for supplying of water. But the transpiration pull is required in tall plants, because water cannot, this root pressure is not enough. The pressure created by this water is not enough to supply it to 5 meter or 4 meters. For here you require this transpiration pull theory. This transpiration pull theory means when the water is lost, deficiency of water is created here. Water from adjacent cells will come to supply the filled space, to supply the empty space, and thus this column, this water will move up. Now there is a question, why does the column in the water does not break? Why does the column in the water does not break is, there are two forces acting here. One is cohesion force, and the second one is adhesion force. What is this cohesion and adhesion force? Cohesion force is a force between the similar particles, like water particles. It is the force between water particles. Here a cohesion force will be there between the water particles, which will prevent the column in the water to break. Again, another force called adhesion force will work. This is the force between the water particle, and wall of xylem vessel. Wall of xylem. Here, which is the main conducting component which we read is the tracheids. So the force between, suppose this is the water particle, the force between two water particles is the cohesion force, and this water is traveling in a tube kind structure, tracheids. So there is a force again, between this water particle and the wall of xylem vessel. So this force is adhesion force. The force between two water particles is cohesion force, and the force between the water particle and the xylem vessel, the water particle and the xylem vessel, is adhesion force. These two forces will act together so that the column, the water column in the xylem vessel does not break, and a suction pull will be created here. A suction pull will be created here, and the water will move from the root to the top of the plant, to all the parts, to each and every part of the plant. So this transportation of water and minerals, it has three steps. One is mineral absorption. For mineral absorption, it is an active process, and we require expenditure of energy so that the minerals move from the soil particle into the cells of the root. Second is the absorption of water. Absorption of water here will take place due to osmosis, and a positive root pressure is created, which is enough for supplying water to short-heighted plants like grasses. But when we talk about tall plants, this ascent of sap has to take place. In the last one, in tall plants, a transpiration pull or this cohesion adhesion theory, this is also called cohesion adhesion theory or transpiration pull theory. When the water is lost due to transpiration, there will be a deficiency over here. To compensate the deficiency, water from the adjacent cells will move to supply it, and continuously, because osmosis is taking place, it will supply water. Here a negative pressure will be created in transpiration pull theory, and the water will be supplied to various parts. Sap, what do you understand by sap? It is the combination of water and minerals and various protoplasmic contents of the plant. So this is how water and minerals will be transported. This water and minerals. The last one is the transportation of food. We know that the food is prepared in the leaf, and it is the phloem which is responsible to translocate food to different parts of the plant. What will happen? The food is loaded onto the sieve tubes, and in between the sieve tubes you will find perforated plates which are called the sieve plates, and from there water is also there along with the food, and it will travel to those places where it is required or where there is a deficiency, and the food is supplied to all parts of the plant. So what we understand is that xylem, it is only unidirectional, it is moves only upward directional, whereas the phloem, it is traveling to all parts of the plant. It can move in any direction. So this is how the water and minerals and food is transported to different parts of the plant. What you have to do is you have to make notes of it, draw well labeled diagrams, and I will give you 3 assignments which you will be completing, and you will take a pic and you will send it through ERP the very next day of the uploading of this video. So write down the homework. Your homework is write down the assignments. The first one, what is transpiration? Explain its types. The second one, what are the components the transport system in highly organized plants? These are the xylem and phloem, the 4 components, and the last one is how is water and mineral transported in plants. Water and minerals are transported by those three processes: mineral absorption, absorption of water, and ascent of sap. Along with it, you will draw the diagram as well, so that the steps will be very clear to you. You have to just draw the internal structure of the root as well, which shows the cortex, which shows the endodermis and the pericycle. This is the xylem, and then this is the xylem of the stem. The diagram also you have to draw. Along with it, you will mention the 3 steps. You will complete the assignment and you will submit it through ERP. Okay? Thank you.